Wow, would you look at this? Honda actually selling some electric cars. I mean, who would have thought Honda? I mean, guys, to be honest, less than 1% of Honda's vehicle sales in 2024 were fully electric worldwide. But in the US, well, the Honda Prologue is a hot item. I mean, really, it really is. Americans really love it. Most Americans don't know that they're not actually buying a Honda. It's not a Honda at all. To be honest, it's really, really not. But you know what? Whatever. Who cares? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Honda is about to take over Nissan. Now, for those of you who don't know, the new merger will be, basically the hierarchy will be owned by Honda. So Honda will be running Nissan. I believe 80% of the board and the president will be Honda, and the ownership of the entire this new company will be basically Honda because it's based on market capitalization, and Honda's market capitalization is 4 times higher than Nissan's. Mitsubishi's is minuscule. So basically, Honda is now in charge of the third largest company. Will be soon in charge of the third largest company in the world. Honda, by the way, doesn't know why they did it. They can't think of any positive reasons for why they want to be part of Nissan. Seriously, I wouldn't be able to either, so I don't blame them. Anyhow, at least their new GM's Prologue SUV is taking the US by storm. After another record month in December, Honda Prologue sales in the US reached over 33,000 in total for 2024. Now, if you're new to the channel, a lot of you are, I'll give you a bit of background behind the Honda Prologue. The Honda Prologue is actually a General Motors Lyric. No, it is. No, it is, really. I mean, it uses the same skateboard, the same chassis, the same batteries, the same motors, the same software. Yeah. I mean, technically it's got a Honda badge on it, but it is really, I mean, this is not like just taking an engine from a car, right? This is literally the same car with, different screens and seats and stuff, but it's a Lyric. It's a Cadillac Lyric. And it doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a decent car, but that's what it is. Honda set new SUV, hybrid and EV sales records in the US in 2024. Its first electric SUV, the Prologue, is doing well. I'm glad to see it. I think it's a decent vehicle and they're selling in pretty good prices. Now, personally, would I buy one? Absolutely not, but I don't think it's a bad car to buy. With 7,885 Honda Prologues sold in December, Honda topped their record of around 6,800 set in November. The growth was enough to push total sales to more than 33,000 in 2024. But considering Honda only began deliveries in March of 2024, you could extrapolate that and say Honda potentially could have hit 45,000 if they'd been selling them all year. Very likely probably would have as well. So that's good numbers. That's very, very good numbers for this vehicle, which is, to be honest, good, but not great. I think when I say, you're probably saying to yourself, well, if you're not going to buy a Honda Prologue, then what would you buy? Well, for me, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is better. For me, the Tesla Model Y is better. For me, the Kia EV6 is better. Cadillac Lyric, I think, is actually better value. But a lot of people love Honda. Honda's a very strong brand in the United States, and I'm going to guess that about 95% of the people who bought this thought they were in fact buying a Honda. I guess legally they are. Yeah. During the second half of the year, Honda sold an average of more than 5,000 Prologues per month. In November, the electric SUV was the third best-selling EV in the United States, behind the Tesla Model Y and the Tesla Model 3. And it does qualify for EV incentives in the US, so the price actually works out to be decent value. With nearly 8,000 sold in December, Honda's Prologue remained a top seller, and Honda's electric SUV outsold the Ioniq 5 pretty easily. In fact, the Ioniq 5 had 4,600 sales versus, Honda nearly sold twice as many Prologues. The Ioniq 5, though, was on top for the year with 44,400 sales. The Ioniq 5 has been updated as well, so it does have more range than what it used to have. I just think it's a much better vehicle, but like I said, the strength of the Honda brand, and maybe they like the shape of this vehicle. But anyway, that's another thing. Now, yes, the Ford Mustang Mach-E did actually outsell the Honda Prologue. It was the second best-selling vehicle. So that meant that the Prologue was the third best-selling electric SUV in the US in 2024, which is, I think, a phenomenal year for this vehicle. Now, Honda's luxury Acura brand also set a US sales record in December. With another 1,848 units sold last month, Acura ZDX sales totaled 7,400 last year, which I think is a flop. I think if you're selling 7,400 vehicles in an entire year in all of the United States, where you're looking at a car market of around nearly 17 million cars, that means the Acura ZDX has basically, it wasn't worth the money to invest in it. That's what I would say at this point in time. Whereas, the very similar Honda Prologue was a success. Now, for those of you who don't know, it's the same platform under this vehicle that actually powers Chevy EVs like the Chevy Equinox and, of course, the Blazer as well. Then the Cadillac Lyriq, GMC EVs, all of them have the similar platform. But it's not bad. It's just not, to be honest, compared to some of the EV technology in China, it's a pretty long way off. Anyhow, range, 296 miles of range. I think it's actually not bad value when you consider that you're getting around 300 miles of range. So what are the prices of this vehicle? Well, I'll tell you the prices, but keep in mind, take these with a grain of salt, because a lot of dealers and Honda themselves have offered some pretty good deals, some pretty big discounts in the US. Anyway, the front-wheel drive version, the EX, starts at $47,400. Now, keep in mind these prices, you do get a $7,500 tax credit off the price as well if you qualify. Now, 296 miles of range for that front-wheel drive. I'm not a fan of front-wheel drive vehicles, but a lot of people don't mind them. The all-wheel drive, cheapest version, EX, that is $50,400. The Touring front-wheel drive is $51,700. The Touring all-wheel drive, $54,700. And the Elite all-wheel drive, $57,900. Yeah, take $7,500 off the price of those vehicles, and they're actually pretty good range. Actually pretty good prices. But, I'm not sure the value is there when you consider the range for the price. For example, the Elite all-wheel drive is $58,000 and it gets 273 miles of range. You'd have to be a bit of a sucker, in my opinion, to pay that much for a vehicle with that much range. I just don't think that's enough to justify it. And it's kind of a bit odd that the cheapest version of this vehicle has the most range. I think really the Elite should have the most range. The most expensive version should have the most range. Not the least, or at least some version of the Elite, or at least some version of the most expensive version should have the most range. But because they all use the same exact battery pack, you actually get less range with the more expensive, heavier versions than you do with the cheaper versions. Anyhow, people don't seem to mind that, which is a good thing, I guess, because more people are buying electric cars. And if you're a Honda lover, you might not buy anything else. Maybe you're just waiting for a Honda EV. So this is really good news, because we want as many people in electric cars as we possibly can. So guys, what are your thoughts on these sales numbers? What are your thoughts on this car? Let me know what you think in the comments. Is a Honda Prologue a vehicle you would consider? Australians, people in the UK, Canada, guys, are you considering buying a Honda Prologue if they were to go on sale in your markets? Would you consider buying one? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.